Why, hello there. Hello, it's me. Is the audio working? I was playing with audio software a minute ago, so I may have broken the audio. Seems like it's working. Hello? Is it me? Hello? Is it me? Sounds like me. Could be me. Hi, it's me, Scott. We've been working on a thing. Started working on a thing, and then I had some plans on how to work on it some more, and I worked on it a little this morning, and then I decided I didn't like those plans. So, it's the thing where we like pull beats out of our heart. We just rip music out of our heart. Life is yours. How's it going? You look so purple. How does it feel to be a Twitch phenomenon? It's a good looking emote. Can I use it? How do I use it? Can you use it anywhere? If I subscribe, oh my gosh. What do I look like? I'm made of money? You know what? Actually, I might have a Amazon Prime subscription. I think I used that on somebody. Maybe I still have it. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's go over here. Yeah, so I don't know. We were fussing around with some different ways to architect this yesterday, and I was moving a certain direction that I didn't like. So one of them, the metronome, we did in a pretty weird way where it was kind of a singleton, but not really a singleton, in that it like existed as a single instance, and that's what really ran, but we were accessing it through a bunch of static fields, which felt a little gross. Also, there's a thing I had done in the past, and maybe I just don't like it anymore, but this idea that any citizen that wants to can talk to the metronome, I now think is a bad idea. Because on the one hand, it sounds like good in terms of inversion of control, meaning like these individual modules are just responsible for themselves. But I was already running into some problems this morning about coordinating certain things, and I think it's a little better in this case if control is a little bit centralized for some aspects, just so it's a little easier to order them. Because when you have all these things registered for that event, that delegate, this on tick, you don't really have a lot of control about the order that those things are executed. And if there's any scenario in which you want that stuff to like play out in a certain way, it's a little weird. Your first subscriber, could be, who knows? I don't know. Can't commit to anything. So I was thinking about that a little bit. I was also thinking about... So basically I tried to do what I mentioned yesterday, where it was like, we'll just have the nodes independently know about their beats. And that turned out to be problematic because of kind of an order of operations thing that I didn't have a lot of control over. So for the moment, I made it where the beats talk to the nodes, but I don't really like that because then you have kind of this weird chain of responsibility where it's like... the heart creates the beats by telling the core, and then the beats tell the nodes. Like it's just is not a very tidy linear. Yeah, you better know. I can't subscribe to anyone who doesn't use Git. It's critical. You gotta have your files backed up. You gotta be able to revert. Also, why did I spell this wrong? That's another good question. So I'm thinking about this. I kind of want core to be responsible for a few more things, and maybe only the metronome is tied to the core. We have all this stuff in core that is really not, it's really about input. So maybe we have a separate input thing. I don't know, a little torn on this. However, at this very moment, I think things work. I think they do the thing. Now what we don't have is, a little animation on the nodes. So we maybe just add that to be real easy. I also was thinking about what I want this thing to be, and I kind of like the idea of there being different kinds of nodes. Like there can be this kind of node that is based on beats coming out of the heart. There can also be nodes that just arpeggiate on their own. There could also be nodes that just kind of play more ambient or pad kind of sounds. But let's just quickly add, well, let's change a couple things actually. So one thing is on this animation machine, for no real reason, I decided I want this to not be called tick, just because we use that elsewhere, and to call it pulse, just to describe what the animation is doing. And here we call it beat. So maybe this is heart pulse. I think we have to change that in more than one place. Yeah, heart pulse. Just so we're describing the animation, just so it's independent of this language we're using for other things. Now, we kind of want to just do the exact same thing with the nodes to be able to do the same thing. With the nodes to be triggerable. So nodes are gonna... Oh, weird that with this selected, this still shows that. Just because we haven't actually made the animation states yet. So we're gonna have, again, a node idle and a node pulse. And I don't know if this is gonna continue to be what we actually want. This little scale, like we can certainly change this animation. I don't think it's a great thing or anything, especially since the scale is a little weird because it's, oh, in fact, we shouldn't put it here. Ah, that's annoying. So already this is slightly annoying. Really, it needs to be on the sphere, and we want the sphere's transform scale. So this is something we'd probably want to restructure at some point because it feels a little not cool. Or at least inconsistent. And just the idea of having like sort of arbitrary sounding scales, not great. Okay, so we have the idle, which will just stay static. Pulse, which I don't remember what we said we liked, but I want to say it was like over the course of 20 frames, like a little 5-frame ramp up to get a little bigger. This is probably gonna be a lot bigger. I don't understand why that doesn't get applied there. Is that not a thing that should work? I feel like that's a thing that should work. Boom. It will. This is a very substantial heartbeat. Boom. Maybe the nodes are too big to begin with. But let's set up the same state machine, or very nearly the same state machine we set up for the heart. Let's add a trigger. Let's call it pulse. We want to start with idle. Idle does not want to loop. Doesn't really matter, but it doesn't want to loop. It's gonna, under circumstances, go into pulse, and when it's done, come back. So on the way back, we want to just make this sequential. You don't need any crossfade. So basically, when it's done, it's done. We do need an exit time. That should be fine because it should just go into the next. Because that's the way we want pulse to end. Is just go back to idle. And then on the way in, we want none of this stuff. No duration, nothing. We want to respond only to this pulse trigger to go in. And so let's apply that. And then if we get a node, where's my node? This node, and I do this, I get a little trigger. And I've broken the trigger on the heartbeat because it's named incorrectly at this moment. This is now called pulse. So similarly, on the node, when the node is trigger, which right now has nothing to do with the metronome. It does deep down, but it doesn't have a direct relationship to the metronome, which I think we're gonna like, I kind of think we're gonna remove other places as well. But we're gonna do this exact same thing. Is still called the same thing, and we just need a reference to the animator. In fact, we'll probably add an audio source. This thing's gonna be very similar to the heart. In fact, maybe so similar that it makes sense for the heart to be a node. A node type. The heart is a node, it's just the central node. Is that true? Does that sound like a reasonable thing? Kind of does. Maybe we'll have a abstract class for node or some kind of interface for node, and that's what we'll build on to make these other types of nodes, one of which is heart, one of which is instrument. Maybe. That sounds fairly reasonable. Let's just grab the audio source while we're at it, because we're gonna do that. Okay, we have an animator, we have an audio source, and then we are gonna play that audio source. Although we may do all this with audio Helm, so I don't know. So this should let those other nodes pulse whenever they get a beat to them, and only when they get a beat, which right now is randomized. It would be kind of cool if what I'm trying to decide, I guess, is would it be cool to pull more nodes out of these nodes and make child nodes, and then they would just branch forever? That'd be kind of cool. I still don't quite know how this thing works. Like, what are the actual user mechanics? Well, right now we could put a set of audio clips on this, and it would just do something. So we could have like a list. Which I don't think, again, I don't think we're gonna do. Color changes pitch. It could be probably, it might be some angle. I mean, the color probably wouldn't change the pitch, but they'd probably change together. So in other words, maybe we'd have some color wheel, 12 segment color wheel that was also a set of semitones. Really, I like to tune these things normally. So we'd have some set range of pitches that could correlate to some set of colors, but it would probably be based on angle or height or something like that to define what the colors were. I think they'll be different. I think there's going to be some balls that are more synthy based that'll just kind of drone, and yeah, that could be kind of cool to put the mod wheel on it. But in general, I think once you drag them out, they're just kind of there, and they do their own thing. I don't know. I don't know if you pick them up and continue to move them. I don't know if they drift away on their own. And gradually explode? I don't know. So right now, let's just put a bunch of audio clips on here, and let's just do a private int audio clip index. And then at startup, we'll just set this. So 0 between 0 and audio clips. So this is just going to say that each node will get a random sample assigned each time. And then we'll just play one shot, whatever clip is appropriate. Audio clip index. Don't like that? Something. If we do all this with audio Helm, it would be cool to have the warble be like the mod wheel or pitch wheel, either as you moved or if you dragged it around. But I don't know. There's some cool stuff about audio Helm. I put in the title that that's what we're going to use today, so maybe that's what we're going to use today. I mean, that's a question right this minute, actually, is instead of digging up samples, we could just do this with audio Helm. I feel like every time we try to use audio Helm, it takes a while to do, but let's do it. Because otherwise we're just going to grab temporary sounds. Which I have some on here somewhere, I think. Maybe. I don't know if I want it to be that direct. I think it's more like you pull these things out of you and let them go. I'm not thinking this as an instrument so much. So I don't know if I want to give that much direct control. It might be like a little bit of incidental sound, but it's not. This isn't intended to be a thing that you actively play. It's more of a thing that you kind of trigger off and then it plays itself, I think. Maybe I'll change my mind on that, but that's what I think at the moment. Somewhere we got some audio samples of some kind. Probably not very good ones, but I think we have some. Yeah, we can steal some melodic ones, of which there are not tons. Where's the actual... Oh. Right. That's a little annoying, huh? Okay, it's in here, here. Let's just quickly, proof of concept, bring in these audio clips, but this is, I don't think, what we want to do long term. I think we want to do real-time synthy things as much as we can get away with audio Helm. Yeah. But that's not the thing I like to make. I have zero desire to make things for other people to make music. I have a desire to make things that make music with some assistance from someone. But like, if you want to make music, there's a million tools to make music, and I'm not a person that makes tools. I'm not very interested in making tools. So if you want to make music right now, you go download an infinite number of pieces of music software. But that's not what I'm interested in making. I'm more interested in making like songs that have some participatory aspect or kind of some assembly required, but not. I have no desire to make something for like other people to make the music that they want to make. They can. There's infinite tools for that. There's no need for me to do that. But you know, some amount of assistance, whether it's maybe a little bit of warble, something like that. I just don't quite know what that looks like. Okay, we'll just have a couple marimba clips to start with. And we won't bother detuning them or anything. That's what I did in Melodic, is just had very few clips. We broke it. I broke it already. How did I break it already? Why are there no errors? I feel like something's weird in 2019. Like, I get errors for things that I don't expect to get errors for, and things that really feel like I should have an error, like the fact that this thing just stopped working right now. Yeah, it stopped working because there's no audio source here and I'm referencing it. Why am I not getting an error for that? That feels very broken, right? A VR bassoon. We could have a synthy bassoon. Why bassoon? Why? Isn't this weird? I did not get an error in Unity at all. I guess that's a 2019 issue. Like, I can look at this and know, like, oh well, yeah, it's because I forgot to add the audio source, but that's really bad. That feels bad. There's 2019, the beta 10 is out. Random's weird. Not very exciting with only 3 samples. Bug report it? Well, I'm not in the latest version, so it's kind of my fault. Each ball at once? That would be horrible, and they would all play simultaneously. When these have more, right now there's only three samples, which is why this doesn't sound great. But with more samples, it would sound much better and more like an instrument. But I don't know if we'll do this random thing anyway. Like, we may have that where these chain together. But I don't think I want to go the sample route. I think we're going to bring in audio Helm. Well, you don't just want to do it based on distance, because you want it to be on the beat. And also, you know, if you're dragging out with your arms right now, they're fixed. They would only have a certain amount of time. So now what I may do what you're describing, but only in like a quantized way. But it's still, you want it to always fall on the beat, not just arbitrarily be based on distance, or it won't sound musical. It'll just sound like a waterfall of noise. There's a word for that. Helm. But I don't know if I want distance to be the thing that determines that. I could have orbits, but that's not really what this thing is about. I had an orbital based little synth in volume 1. This is volume 2. Let's see. I know I should release this at some point, huh? One of these days. That was one of the last synths for volume 1. Was this one? It was orbit based. You could throw them around at different rates, but that's not quite what I'm doing here. More I want like and I don't even know if I'll do the individual things all connected to the heart. They may all just sort of connect to each other. I don't know yet. Yeah, but I don't. This is not orbits. That's not what this is about. This is more like an explosion out of your heart. Did that actually work? Yes, it did. Audio Helm. Okay, now I have to remember how Audio Helm works again. And I feel like it's complicated every time. Maybe if I used it consistently, it wouldn't be so bad. So, like, this is all different pitches, right? I don't know if this is, Oh, the echo. Okay, so this should have just one instrument, right? Bouncy Balls has just one synth, and it's this synth. Oh, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. This looks broken. Maybe I shouldn't be in 2019.2. I don't even remember why I am. I think I really just wanted this searchable console. I mean 2019.1, excuse me, beta. I kind of want this console. But maybe it's not worth it since nothing is working. I want to know what patch that was. Why can't I pick any of these? Is this plugin having issues with 2019? It's borked? Could be. What happens when you run beta software? I don't think we were doing anything. I mean, the main things that seem fancy and nice about 2019 are that the searchability in the console, which is, you know, not that huge of a deal for a small project, and new Android stuff. But I think I'm gonna try to downgrade. Unity doesn't really like to downgrade, so we'll see what happens. Unity barely likes to upgrade, but let's try it. See how it goes. Okay, so to do that, in here we will say, I think there's much newer versions of 2018.3. This is what happens when we go do, yes, downgrade please. Downgrading is not supported. Yeah, downgrade anyway. I'm not afraid. You know why I'm not afraid, Life is Yours? Because I have it. Yeah, because it's in Git. That's right. Oh, it's so broken. Because if I needed to, I could just make a new package. It would not be that big a deal. What? Why do you want me to sign in? Did that just totally break? 2018? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Error resolving packages. Oh no. That's fine. It made you, I actually don't know the behavior of this. With all the new package stuff, like, it could be extraordinarily broken, but I'm not very worried about it. Oh, I think I'm approved. I think my my emote got approved also, right? Is that true? Ah, yes. Beautiful. My own emote. Just what I always wanted. I don't like the name of it. Well, what are you gonna do? Are you making up URLs? It's a little bit of an instrument. It's definitely not a tool, though. It's not. I don't want to make tools for other people. Okay, so is every single thing broken? Stuff in packages is all broken. Can I like delete the packages folder and have Unity recreate it? Watch this. I'm gonna delete the packages folder. Probably delete the library folder too, huh? You can kind of delete everything except the assets folder. I mean, I could delete that too, but. Well, that's weird that they sit on each other when you do the icons like that. That's kind of strange. Are they supposed to do that? I didn't know emotes overlapped like that. Weird. Weird. Okay, so we got this. We're gonna try to swap this out with some audio Helm stuff, which hopefully I will like. I think it's maybe the right way to go. I'm an admin. I can do whatever I want. Okay, look, we got new packages. Everything's fine. It's all gonna be fine, right? All my stuff was inside here, so as long as it's all in here, we're all good. Could have deleted everything. Who cares? Okay. Back in business in 2018. So let's see now if stuff seems less broken, which I would hope so. So going back to bouncy balls and looking at this and looking at this synthesizer, it still isn't picked here, which is pretty weird. Maybe there's something about... I don't think that's the sound it was on before. This doesn't seem like it's working very well in 2018-3 either, I must say. It seems busted. Why, wonder why that is. I wonder what it defaults to, because I liked the default one. This lust is good. This one's good. Code my own. I do like. I'm out of practice with it. Very out of practice with it. But pure data, if you want to just build your own synthy stuff, it is pretty awesome. There was for a while. I wonder what the state is of it. Actually, maybe we should have a pure data stream so I can like relearn how to use it. But for a while there was libpd, and that was a way to embed pure data into other applications. And I definitely saw there were people who were building Unity projects with libpd. But I don't know the current state of that, because I don't feel like it ever worked very well. There's some older articles about it, but I believe that's how Fract OSC, is that the name of that game? Fract. I think this game was made with libpd in Unity. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was. But it had some pretty cool real-time synthy stuff. So this had tons of real-time synthy stuff in Unity that I think was libpd. It might be in here. If I can spell this right. So they forked libpd for that, but that was years ago. So I just don't know what the current. Yeah, that was cool. I remember looking at this at the time. I didn't have a lot of luck with it. It was pretty clunky, especially if you wanted to do. If you wanted to then go to iOS, I definitely had issues with it then. So Audio Helm is doing essentially the same thing. I mean, in terms of being a real-time audio synthesizer. I thought that this worked though. Like, I thought previously we were able to do this and it worked okay. What was that one called? It had a C name. This. But maybe it doesn't like to do this not at runtime. But I thought we were able to do that. Okay, now we gotta figure out how these work, because I don't remember. I don't remember who plays the sound. I think it's the lines themselves. So like, these individual platforms have colliders. They have this bounce audio. It knows about a synth. They must randomize a node in there. So the way they do it is they have a reference to a Helm controller, and they just call, I think there's just a play on that they call on collision, call a node on the synth. Yeah. So we could do that. So what does their synth look like? Their synth just looks like this. Maybe this is the buttons we could push and have it work. When we push those buttons not in play mode? I thought that previously we could do this not in play mode. Bradley, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Oh no, what did you find? Wait, is that me? What am I doing there? Perfect. I'm not qualified. Okay, well, YouTube, you've made a mistake. I should watch that video to remember how to do it, because every time I forget. Okay, so I think all we need is a Helm controller. Then we give that reference to each of our nodes, which is going to be slightly annoying because the nodes are instantiated, but we just have to pass that in from the heart or the core, whoever's job it is. Right now the heart makes those, but I don't think the heart should make them. I think the core needs to make them. And then they can call note on. And I think all we need is this, just this Helm audio. Let's just steal this. I'm stealing it. Watch, right before your very eyes. Cool. There was just in a Unity. What is that thing? Unity community. What is it? The Unity is like little email. Man, I'm never gonna find it now. They're like newsletter, community newsletter. It's this thing. They had a link to a video that was specifically about audio visualization. That was seemed pretty good. It seemed like I had not done the beat detection. It kind of breezes through it. I'll throw this in chat, but it was handy. But it would be easy enough to tie that tie this stuff, the resulting info into shader parameters. But this seemed like a pretty simple way to do that stuff in Unity, like spectrum analysis. And then she did some beat detection stuff that seemed to work reasonably well. I feel like I've never seen a beat detection approach that worked super well, which is why I like to just do the synthesis in real time, and you don't have to do beat detection. Okay, so we're gonna have a Helm controller. For now, we'll just use the same bouncy balls synth. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And then who's gonna know about this stuff? I think it's Core. I think Core is gonna know about. So what do we need? We need audio Helm. Yeah, and then we just need this. Sure. I'll make it private so the ghost of Draklin doesn't yell at me. Look at this though. I don't like, I mean, you know, encapsulation's a good thing, but I think this just looks dumb. Serializing every field individually. But hey, that's seemingly the way you gotta do it. So what we need to do, let's have some ideas here. One thing we want to do is create nodes. I think we're going to create nodes here. Right now, we're creating them in the heart. Maybe. No, we're not. We're creating them here. This is it. This is where we create a node. We would have to pass a few parameters in. And maybe not, actually. Well, don't we do this twice because we're goofballs? Yeah, we did it twice. The left hand is okay. The right hand is not okay. I don't remember why I did that separately. Oh, yeah, because one is stuck inside. Right. Okay. Well, let's not do this. Create node and give it a parent. Not even a parent, just a, no, we do. That's where we stick it. Do I really like that? Maybe I don't like that right this minute. That's something we can clean up later. But for now, the one thing that's missing is just when we create the node, we need to tell it about the heart transform, and we need to tell it about the synth. That's the main thing. And then node is also going to want to know about audio Helm. And it's going to want to know about a synth. And then in its init, we will have a Helm controller. And then when we trigger, instead of this, we'll get rid of all this. Do a synth node on, which right now we'll just do C. That's 63. I don't know. We have to go look up a MIDI chart again. Velocity all the way, and then length we'll just do like 0.5 seconds because I think that's how fast we're going. BPM wise. Milk. You need some milk? Yeah, I know. We could group those together. I still don't like it. I mean, in this case, I kind of can't. I mean, yeah, I have all these transforms, so the transforms could be grouped. So I don't know. Some of these we're going to change out of being transforms. So, Bradley, I missed your pun. It took me a minute to get it. I feel embarrassed. Okay, so something like this. I feel like we missed a step here. Why is everything broken and we're not getting errors? That's really bad. And this is even in Unity 2018. Like, what a weird thing. I guess I can check my... Where's my problems? Is it this? What's mad about that Canadian spelling? Like, where's our beats? How did I break the beats? How did I break every single thing? I feel like there's an error here that we are not being told about. Seemingly no beats are being born. Did I accidentally comment something out to make beats not born? The heart was responsible for that. It is playing. It should be calling core create beat. Did I not do something? Well, okay, wait. I think I'm doing something not smart. No. Okay, I'm a goofball. We need to do nodes.add node. And we need that in both places. I think it was actually broken before. I deleted the wrong thing. It was just the parent upon release, I think, is the actual problem. Yeah, null versus heart container. That's what we wanted to change. That's my fault. I did it myself. Okay. This sucks. Why am I not getting errors? What has happened? Why has Unity decided that when an error happens, I just shouldn't know about it? I feel like I've never seen that ever. No errors. Oh, awesome. What were you working on, Bradley? You were working on work stuff on a Saturday? Okay, what did we add and why is it broken? I kind of feel like it's this that is broken, but let's see. Yeah. So playing the synth note is not going well for us. This thing, we're playing to the right output. That should be fine. Let's see if it works in here at runtime. Yeah. So why we're getting sent is set on initialize. I guess we should just make sure that it's not null, because it could have been a null. I'm weirded out by this no errors thing. That's pretty weird. Noise issues? What kind of noise? Okay, that seems to be null. Okay, I know what the problem is. Man, how am I not getting errors about this? This is really weird. The problem is I just didn't set this. Set this. Pretty weird. Okay, it's very loud. Let's do less velocity. And then let's come up with a... You think of brownian noise? Brownies. You know what I do like is brown noise. Brown noise might be my favorite of the noises. Let's have some nice brown noise. No, not a commercial. Do you think if I play brown noise, I'll get like a copyright claim? No, not like pooping noises. Like, so here's a weird thing about your ears that I love. I can barely hear it. I turn off the music. Just listen to brown noise. I listen to brown noise on headphones all the time. Gray noise is also good. Oh, simplex noise. White noise? No, nobody likes white noise. Here's the problem with white noise. White noise is like, you have like the audio spectrum, like the range of vibrations that humans can hear, right? And white noise, the idea is you just have random values everywhere in there, right? Just at every point in that range, you have random values. Problem is human hearing, the like attenuation of a human ear is not flat across that. It has a different shape. So different frequencies sound louder. And because our ears hear high end better than low end, I think that's right to say, white noise is like real high and gross sounding. So these other noises have different attenuation curves that can be a little more nice for ears. White noise sounds like true white noise is like real hissy. Like it's kind of annoying. This is not white noise. Where's actual white noise? I said 10 hours of white noise. Did it just lie to me? Yeah, it's like real high and gross. Pink noise is pretty good. I'll take pink noise over white noise any day. Pink noise. More like rain. Gray noise, also very good. Do you like gray noise? Pretty good one. But gray noise, brown noise, probably my favorite noises. Yeah, that's nice. Sleep to wife noise. Binaural sounds kick for a while. Yeah, I use a thing called Sleepstream is the app that I use. When I do like my weird daily sound bath meditations, I use Sleepstream. I like it because you can layer a bunch of different things. So you can put on some binaural beats and play like ocean waves or noise or whatever. And then on top of that, you can play whatever music you want. That's a pretty cool app. I'm pretty into it. Oh, I shouldn't wait. Oh man, I should like give you an affiliate link so I get $1 million if somebody buys it. I think my iTunes affiliate links I've made literally tens of dollars. Rich. I'm rich. Binary C, what was going on with your light? Are they dimmable lights? I feel like sometimes dimmable lights have weird problems sometimes where they make crazy sounds. Okay, now what we need is our good friend the MIDI chart. Where's that good one though? There was that yellow one that was really good. We're never gonna find it ever again. I just liked it because it was yellow. This is really the only reason. I don't think we've looked at it in 6 months, but no, I don't like this one. That one I definitely don't like. This one's okay. So we were playing 60. What did I say? 63? Oh, we should have played 60. 63 is. I don't like this chart either. Nope. And this one's a little less expensive. Yeah, 60 would be C4. So let's build a little 3-octave C major 7 set of notes. So that will be. How do I want to do that? Oh, it's the bulb? Bummer. You got those fancy hue bulbs. What's the array shorthand for C#? I can never remember it. Like if you want to instantiate an array with values in C#. Oh, it uses curly brackets, right? Yeah. So we will, instead of this, we will have like, do I need new? Can't I just instantiate? Yeah, and declaration. That's what we want. We want, notes, and then we'll pick a random note from this. And I think we're going to ditch the audio source, and we're going to ditch the audio clips and just try to do all of this with Helm. So we want what? 48 CDE 52 55 59 for C major 7. Oops, 59. And then just the same thing again, starting at C4. 60, 64, 67, 71. Let's just do 2 octaves to start with. So now we will say, whenever it's trying to play a note, we want a random note index. We still want to do that, I think, actually. So we'll have a private int note index. And then when we start, we will say like note index equals random range 0 to notes length in this case. And then we can always just play notes note index. So that should be 2 octaves C major 7. That should sound okay. Did I miss a note in there? Okay, so that's all too fast. Let's do 60 beats per minute, maybe 90, split the difference. And no, I don't know. You got weird brain stuff going on? What's going on with your brain? You hear a peep all the time? Am I hurting your ears? A lot of audio sources. We can ditch those, actually, right? We don't need all those. Not that it'll make that much difference, but let's make it a little quieter so I don't break your ears. Less that's the velocity, right? We have slightly longer duration, but let's not worry about that for now. And then we can just go in here and pick some weird sounds, right? Where's our... This seems kind of loud. 10% velocity? I guess it maybe depends on how the individual synths are set up. Okay, what about something more pad-ish? Oh, we need to do that on the mixer. Right. You don't notice a change in the intensity? Yeah. still pretty loud. Let's just lower. Oh wait, why is that so loud? Probably should have made my own. Let's just do that now. Let's make our own volume 2, and let's make our own group. Is it? How does this work? Yeah. And then this will have a audio Helm. We'll have Helm. Even though this doesn't seem to work very well. I really thought this worked at one point, but perhaps not. Okay, volume 2 node is where we want our synth to play to now. And then we can... I think it's actually supposed to come after attenuation, if I remember right. Or attenuation's supposed to come after. Stinky bass. I also need definitely better guess we could do our percussion. I think what's annoying about the percussion in this instance is like it's a like synth per kind of percussion. Maybe that's fine. I'm ready. I'm gonna do it. Actually, I was thinking today, I don't know that I'll ever want to release an album like static music. I don't know if I ever want to make static music ever again. I was thinking of making an album that's different for everybody that downloads it. Alien lead guitar. Here's a clarinet. I didn't find a bassoon, but here's your clarinet. Life is yours. I can barely hear it. I feel like we were doing best with just keys. I want to move to Canada. This is very Boards of Canada-ish. I'm kind of into it. Our drum sounds are super boring, though. Kind of think this whole thing wants to be really slow, though. Like, at least the rate... At least this rate. For now, let's just do 60 BPM, but I could maybe see like the melodic part, because I think there's going to be parts that are melodic and parts that are pad-ish, and maybe some arpeggiation, like little arpeggiator nodes. Like, I think there's different things you will pull out of you. Oh, where did we randomize? We randomize. Okay, that's right. Yeah, I meant to do that. So what I'm maybe imagining is that there's like nodes that you pull out of you that kind of do their own thing and have some sort of set arpeggiation and play with some kind of specific synth that we would set up ahead of time. And then there would be these kind that are melodic, but maybe they don't all stretch out of you like this. Maybe they more like cluster into little groups based on proximity. So if they're just kind of close together, they will play together as a little musical run. It'd be nice to have rests in that. But you'd have to have some way to have them like dynamically form little clusters. Kind of into this though. Let's turn off this other music. This is definitely a Boards of Canada kind of vibe going. How would I want to do that? How would I want them to live together? I don't know. I also don't know what this looks like. When I was first imagining it, I was imagining it more like, you know, we just did simple geometry just because that's what was easiest, but I really initially thought of it as more swirly, swimmy, particle-y. You know, really, it could be more like when a new beat is created, maybe it's always between like two nodes, like whatever the last node was. So it's not just coming out of you. And that way you could have something that was a little more like a set melody instead of just randomness like we have now. But that could be kind of cool. Like it would just, you'd still drag them out of you, but the heartbeat would go between more and more. Get some graphics on there. Yeah, I was kind of imagining it. I don't know quite yet what it looks like. Because there was some aspect of it initially that was the kind of where we started initially for the sun, that sun thing where you're in outer space and there'd be something kind of cosmic about these things. Like you're ripping a cosmos out of your heart. But we gotta just we need way more deep drony stuff. Like maybe your heart is a little bit less about beating and more about droning. Okay, I do think I want to try the heart-to-heart animation, basically. Also, I do kind of want to pull this out of here and not have these guys know about this. Because this whole chain feels a little clumsy at this moment. Because it's clumsy. All this code is clumsy. Pardon me. I don't know that there's a line of it that actually okay, so here's the thing. We create a beat, and that's fine. In fact, let's just pull that out of there and start pulling some of this stuff into core. And have maybe, eventually maybe the idea is that only the core knows about the metronome. Maybe that's the actual way to do things here. So when we start our core, we'll start ticking and we'll do this whole thing. And that can still, for now, we'll leave that in there. But in general, let's start moving some of these. Like just the notion of creating a beat. Like the core responsible for that. And then eventually maybe the core is responsible for all things metronome related. So you kind of only have the metronome talking to the core. So right now we always say when it's time to create a beat, create that beat between the heart maybe we just do it so we could iterate sequentially through the node array and just have the node index just increment over time and then just always pick 2 sequential nodes. And then B over here wouldn't know. It would have more like node A and node B, right? Like it wouldn't really know about the heart anymore. It would know. You're just going to give it 2 nodes. Go between node A and node B. Maybe we'll only draw the lines between the nodes that are actively doing their thing. And then we need to, at the end of it, we want to trigger node B. So for now, let's just make it easy and just pick 2 random nodes. We'll just have a node A and a node B that we pick in the same way, and it will just automatically always be animating between two random nodes. The one problem being you don't want it to animate between itself. I guess that technically wouldn't break anything right now, but really we'd want to like have a random. There's ways to do that. Like to make sure that you don't pick the same thing, rather than even like an easy way to do it is to pick a random number and then add the total number -1 to it and then mod it so it fits, just so you're like pick a random index in an array and then pick a index between the end of that array and then up to that point in the beginning of it when it loops around, if that makes sense. I'm not going to worry about that right this minute because it doesn't actually bother me too much. But let's to do it's not a hard optimization. I just don't want to do it right this second while I'm thinking about other stuff. It really loves that all these places right now are the nodes playing between themselves. I think this will be more visually interesting anyway. For this particular kind of node. And I think there will be more kinds of nodes. So rather than having the pincushion come out of us, maybe the pincushion, like the line renderer, is actually not part of the node, but is part of the beat. And we pull all the line renderer stuff out of nodes, because it doesn't really look great anyway. And this stuff, we can just leave all this stuff for now. This stuff is fine. This will, I think, eventually be a type of node. I still like the idea of sort of like powering things by connecting to them, but maybe I don't want to be as explicit about that. I think those connections just sort of like randomly emerging will be fine, because I do want this to be relatively passive beyond pulling the things out of you. Okay, so that means that we want to do the following. We want to get our node and our beat. So node is not going to have a line anymore. This freaking prefab editor. Apply both of these. I'm still not used to this new prefab workflow. Freaks me out. Weird. It's weird. Ah, man, but then we have this annoying problem. Okay. Well, and then we need to make a sphere in here. Man, why don't you let me do anything, Unity? I really can't just do this? That sucks. I'm not into it. No, let me in to you. Let me into you? Sounded weird. But that's what I meant. Prefab. Let me in there. Okay, and then on the beat itself, we do not want any of this stuff. We don't need to draw it. I don't need colliders on any of this stuff, actually, at the moment at least. Okay, apply all that nonsense. Line is going to live in here. We need to know about the line. And then line, I should have kept that code. What was it? This stuff. That's in the update loop of the beat. It is gonna, in addition to animating, it will also always update node A transform to this position. So it's always going to draw a line between the two places it's going. I don't know if we'll keep that, but it exists. And now let's remember to do this, which I hate it more and more every day, having to be explicit about setting these things. I'm thinking, I'm being seduced by the idea of Zenject. It's happening. I might start doing that for everything. And really it should be animating between the sphere positions of the two. And I don't really like this popping on and popping off kind of thing. So one thing though is it would be kind of nice to have the heart be one of these nodes. Okay, let's first do the thing. I didn't think I wanted to do it yet, but I think I want to do it. Where we don't pick the same node twice. So the way to avoid this is to take this index plus this mod this. About right? Really, we only want beats currently if there's more than one node. I might have done this wrong. You might need to subtract here, but I don't think so. A random range between there, and then we would add it. 0 would be the same. We kind of never want it to be 0, though. That's the deal. We need it to be at least 1. I think it's got to be 1, and then this minus 1. Because if it was the full... Because if it was 4, and you added 4... But it would never include that. Zero, 1, 2, 3. I think this needs to be minus 1. Let's try it, but I think this is going to be wrong. I think we need to subtract 1 there. Seems to be working every time now. We don't really want the line renderer at all, maybe. I never really thought it would be lines. I thought it might be like a flow of particles. Certainly don't want it to pop like this. It could fade out maybe, but... Okay, let's make another kind of node. Let's just be static about it now, because I kind of want to do a... How do I want to do this? I just got done saying that I didn't necessarily want the to have a bunch of stuff responding to the metronome, but maybe this does. It's type of node. We'd only want this to happen like every... let's just start on it and then we'll figure out how to integrate it. Let's add 2 kinds. I kind of want to have a pad and I kind of want to have an ARP. And they're going to function... Actually, these two are almost going to function the same way. And just point to different places. Where these will just not really worry about being triggered, and they will just kind of play. Unless we wanted to write our own arpeggiators, but these will be almost identical to start with for now. Let's just call them pad. And their whole deal will be they are going to want to know about audio Helm. And they are going to want to, they're going to know about the metronome for now. That may change. I mean, they're going to basically be these, they're going to be like self-playing nodes, sort of. At least to start with. But they're not going to be triggered externally. I still don't quite know the shape of how this stuff is going to fit together. They are not going to have an animation trigger yet. Although that just needs to be, we need to be starting to get conforming these things a little bit. I did not mean to edit that here. Meant to edit it. Here. We do want the node index thing. No animator yet. So we'll just do something like tick count mod 8 equals 0. So every 8th beat, these will just automatically play. They don't need any external thing. And they will just have, we'll just make 2 more groups. How do I rename this? Down here? Also, don't be inside there. And ARP. Both of these will, come on, no multi-editing. Both of these will have Helm before attenuation. ARP is gonna, let's just pick an ARP. Pad. Bling, bling, bling. Helm. Let's just pick a cool pad. I don't know what they sound like. And then we need to set both of those. We need to have multiple Helm controllers. I think we have to. One for node, one for pad, one for ARP. What is this? What does that mean? That's weird. How come those got a cool audio Helm thing? Oh, these don't need... These won't... Okay, that's very loud, first of all. And I did those backwards? Wait. Falling apart here. Pad needs pad. Oh, I have them all on the same channel. Also a problem. So node can be 0, pad can be channel 1, ARP can be channel 2. I think that's part of my problem. And then I may need to set that here. node. I don't think I quite understand why that has to be true, but okay, on pad. Why is pad playing the ARP? And the ARP is playing the pad. Perfect. Nailed it. ARP, 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 pad. I just do them backwards. A little easier if we could hear these. That says ARP, but it's playing to pad. Did I do those channels wrong? Node pad ARP? I did. I said the channels backwards. Pad should be, sorry, ARP, and then pad. Okay, got it. Okay, so these now need pad. Let's try this, switch us the pad first. Why didn't that work? So we need a duration here, unless I call a note off on it. So what overloads does this have? Synth.node on. You can just give it a note. No, node on. Yeah. You don't have to. So we could. Can we call this note off? Without a parameter, will it control like everything off? All notes off? Like, I don't know. I don't know if we really would want to do that, but call all notes off and then call a new one and don't even give it a duration? Maybe? Okay, a couple things on this. One, in this case, we do want to randomize the node every time. It's also a very sharp pad. We want something less. Why doesn't it play on the first run though? Oh, probably because we should have done stuff in awake, right? To be ready for the first tick. Missing that first tick. But now, why did it play the same note twice? Why is it so loud? Yeah, there we go. kind of a little too Boards of Canada, but I do like it. You're actually going to bed? I can't believe this, Life is Yours. What time is it? What time is it in Norway? 3:37 a.m. Okay, that seems like an acceptable time to go to bed. Thanks for hanging out. Have a lovely evening. This can be your bedtime lullaby. This is eerie. It is very much in the vein of Boards of Canada. I like Boards of Canada, who are from Scotland, I think. This is the kind of music I listen to when I do my sound baths. It's good for visualization. It just needs way more low end. It needs like some deep, hurtful bass. Okay, let's try to add the arpeggiator, which is probably going to just be annoying to start with. Not a lot of arps in this synth, it seems. That like arp presets for Helm, but I'm guessing this is going to be obnoxious. This with the rainbow shader? It might be a little rainbowy, but you're gonna just have a galaxy bursting from your chest. It's gonna be. We still need to do office hours for that rainbow shader, though. Thank you for reminding me. Maybe we'll try to do it with the shader graph, in which case I won't know what I'm doing. No, it's down. It's set in record. It's everyone knows that YouTube videos are official documentation. It's like sending something through the U.S. mail. I think the ARP sucks. I don't like it. We can maybe write our own. Yeah, the ARP is not. I'm not happy with it. I mean, some different. I don't know. I am not definitely. I'm not necessarily trying to emulate Boards of Canada. I just like the way that sounds right now. But that's a thing that'll change. If I forget it. Wait, if I forge it or forget it? Which one? But I think I just don't like this harp very much. Maybe we just need a different pad. Forge. I remember that we liked Electrovike Cruise. We use that for the sun. Okay, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Let's add a another lower octave. Let's go down to C2 for the pad. Oh no, I lost it. Okay, so 36, 40, 43, 47. I broke it. So some audio Helm is updated. Is this actually being worked on? last September. Kind of into it. Accidentally doing a Boards of Canada tribute stream. But that's okay. Boards of Canada are great. I don't think that will be the long-term goal. I think it's something maybe a little more cosmic-y than sinister. While we're at it, let's make this not blue. Let's make this. Okay, so what do we need to do? Pads not round. Those pads don't really exist. They are just kind of fixed. None of these should really have play on awake, probably. I wonder if that's why we get that weird sound when we... Yeah, every time we start, like, something is left over. Like something... Oh, Portishead. I haven't thought about Portishead in a long time. Okay, one thing that's just slightly annoying me here is just the node position is a trick because actually, yeah, this offset position is what we're really using here. So let's start. That's always the world position, and so we'll do on awake, just set it to wherever we actually are. I don't know if we can actually. Maybe we have to do it on a knit. This might cause it to jump. This might not be great. Offset position. And then we just want some offset position is really what we want to animate towards. So this is what we will use to animate here. And here. And here. And here. I think we might have a jump here. Just the way I did this, we might see it jump. Maybe that's what maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's a good day for a Portishead sound bath. Yeah, this at least lets the lines, you know, handle the moving targets. Now, wasn't this a problem though? I'm remembering all of a sudden that if we want to do positional audio and have these properly positioned in space, we need each of these, each node to be a Helm controller. that might be true. And I was afraid of the overhead of that, but it seemed okay. Okay, let's just quickly, just so I feel like I'm accomplishing something in life, let's make pad material, put it on these two things, make it unlit, make it a nice color, make these 0.3, and do this. Just let me feel like we're doing something here. Where's that other one? Doing way over here. Oh, that is that one. I'm looking at everything backwards. Okay, so let's check this out in VR. And then maybe that's all I want to do for today. I hope that didn't break the stream. The thing happened where the definitely weird stuff happens on my video card when I open Oculus. So hopefully that did not just blow everything up. Okay, let's try this. Definitely satisfying to watch things bounce around in VR. I like that. Be better probably if they followed a pattern, like rather than randomly picking node A, that node A was always node B. Gonna just like sit in there and do a weird meditative thing, I think it's pretty important that you can follow the bouncing ball, basically. I feel like that's gonna be key. So that should not be hard, because if we always know, we just always know the indexes. We just have to decide, do we want to save the indexes? So that logic is all going to be in here. Here. Like, what do we actually want to save? because we really want node index A to always start out being whatever node index B was. So the thing that's going to get weird here is as you add more things, I guess it's always fine to add things, but you know, we're just going to be adding things to a collection. I guess it's a list, so it's always going to be at the end. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but we basically want to just say that node index A is always going to be whatever node index B was the last time. Turn off VR for a minute. Try this. Yeah. And then another thing that is bothering me a little bit is that when we release these, what do we do when we release them? We need something that's like node transform dot drift equals true. No, we need something like node dot drift. So we want to get the node for these. So that's fine. This is all not tidy. It's goofy because we duplicate the code, etc., etc., etc. But that's okay for now. We'll just set a property, because the idea I think that we want is that we don't want them to float around until you're done dragging them, because that's just looks not good. Okay, and then on the node we will add drift equals value, and then that way we can just always check drift, right? I think that's safe to do. And just not do any of this nonsense until drift equals true. Maybe? Is that gonna work? Yeah, then it won't float around until we let it go. It'll jump, but not a lot. Hypnotizing myself slightly. I think that means usually when I like zone out while working on something, that means that I like it, I think. Or that I like something about it. Either I don't like it at all and it's making and I'm like overthinking it, or it's doing its job and it's kind of hypnotizing me a little bit. Okay, let's try this, and then this may be the end of what we do today. Definitely into the follow basketball. I've done this before. whew. It's kind of good. It's kind of okay. I think it's okay. I'm gonna look around at it. Let's do this. Let's do one more thing. Let's turn off this viewer camera, and let's just make the video on the stream what I'm seeing, so you can see when I look down at my heart, pull my own heartstrings. Okay. My field of view that close? It's pretty close. It's just here you're not seeing like the periphery. So I think there is, I think my view is wider than this. But I am pretty close. They're close to me. They're probably too big. Okay. So here's what I'm imagining for this thing. We were working on our buddy, that Sunshine Buddy, earlier in the year, and never really finished it for release because there was the question of like, well, this thing's a little too simple to stand on its own, but I don't really want to do the work to like flesh it out and making something overly complicated, because I think it just didn't really want to be something overly complicated. So what I'm imagining with Volume 2 is just a collection of things, and the Sunshine Buddy can be one of those things, and the this thing, Core, can be one of those things, I think. The trick of that is that I think they need to I could, yeah, do some weird thing. I haven't actually, that's interesting. Yeah, like log scale the position of like my arms relative to my head so I could do like weird Dalzium stretches. That's an interesting idea. I think I want the stuff to drift away. So anyway, I think that I want to collect these things into basically an album of weird interactive sound things. I don't think that Core needs to be much more complicated than this. I think we'll add a little bit more in terms of maybe like the ability to pull the pads out of you. Maybe some way to change the sounds. I don't know. I think they may already have a sound. We will probably want to author our own synthy sounds instead of just using that very Boards of Canada one, which we're like plagiarizing by 2 degrees because somebody else made that patch and then we're using it. And, so we probably do want to jump into Audio Helm and do some stuff. The thing that gets a little tricky is like you want some consistency of what the feel of it is, both sound wise and look wise. Like that music was way too dark to go with our little Sunshine Buddy. Also, I think our Sunshine Buddy didn't really have a like underlying bed, like underlying music layer. I think it was only happening when we only had music when we shot off the little guys, which is maybe fine. Maybe these are more like little audio experiments than I'd like them to be a little meditative. That's one thing that's a little weird though about the Sunshine Buddy, is that it was pretty silly. I don't know, maybe that one doesn't quite fit into this realm, because we did a lot of kind of weird audio experiments last year that weren't not that they're super serious, but were not so silly. So I don't know, I gotta think about how that stuff comes together a little bit, but I would like to try to get that together and release it as a thing. I think for the Oculus Quest, I think that's where it goes, is just a weird album that's a little bit different for everybody, I think is the plan. But anyway, I think I'm done for today. Thank you for hanging out. Binary C, life is yours. Anybody else who stopped by? Who stopped by? Bradley stopped by. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I think I have a crazy thing happening where I have to like work in an office starting Monday again. I'm not emotionally prepared for this, but it's a thing. It's a thing that's got to happen. So I don't know exactly how that's gonna affect my streaming. I'll have to see how that works. I'm trying to push some buttons and see if anybody. Okay, I think I just broke it. Did I just break it? I just broke everything. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, we will. How did I break that audio? I don't understand why that explodes sometimes. Anyway, we'll continue working on this stuff because I do want to finish it in some way and wrap up a lot of those other little experiments that we didn't really finish. And I don't like it when I do that. I don't like it when I get something to like 80% and then leave it. It's a bad habit. So we'll work on that. Have a lovely weekend. Perhaps I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.